Welcome back to another episode of 56'N with BJ and Tyler,
What
two
up,
law
what up?
enforcement professionals, brothers, buddies, where we sit down and we just riff on topics that pop in our brain or topics of the day and go over our vast lifetime experience of mistakes and failures.
Shoot the shit like nowadays.
Yeah, not a moral expert or no judgment here. Just hey, look, this is the dumb shit we did and got in trouble for, or this is how we fucked up stuff, and take it for what it is.
Yeah, what it's worth, what it is. No, I'm not even an expert on myself, so I can't stand back on anything.
My daughter tells me all the time. She's more referring to my appearance. She's like, "You're like a chameleon. You change your appearance all the fucking time." But honestly, it's like she says she'll throw things out like that, and then I'm like, "Damn, my appearance tends to match with what I'm dealing with or going through." So it's like maybe personally, like internally, I'm also a chameleon. Like I just kind of express outwardly what I'm dealing with. I don't know what this appearance says. It just says maybe I have more time to do my hair and cut my shape my beard. I don't know.
I have time. That's what it says.
I have time. Yeah. Not just shaving my head all the time. A couple things. This episode sponsored by Blackout Coffee.
Blackout Coffee.
I don't have the mug, but it's in here. I have my iced coffee. Love Blackout Coffee. Get 20% off your first order with the discount code Street Tales.
Yes.
You know, I want to talk. I want to be more pushing stuff because it's. We've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about on 56, but Street Tales. It's not normal for me to be like, "Hey, we need money," or hey, support us with money stuff. But all this shit costs money, and it costs a lot. It's time, it's sweat, blood equity, but also it's straight up greenback equity too, baby.
Yeah, man. That's one thing. Shit does cost money, and it's one of those things I did put in a while ago for a position at the office. It was, I guess you call it like community outreach, but some of it involves like fundraising, if you will, right? And I'm like,
so hard, bro.
I was kind of like one of those things where it's like after the fact, you're like, maybe not getting was probably a better thing for me personally. So I'm like, that's something I would have to, I guess, develop or deal with to kind of learn how to do. Like not begging, but like asking for stuff. It goes against like my personal.
If I want it, I go get it, or I work and save up, and then
I figure out how to go do it, right? So that part of it would be, but shit does take money, and that's how you, as also someone who's done the business side of things before, it's like you have to price is the price. And,
price is the price, baby. Lil Barkowski, love her to death, bro.
Price is the price, and as Fat Joe would say, yesterday's price is not today's price. So asking. It's a big deal of it. So yes, people, stuff does cost money, not necessarily just the sweat equity part, but it does.
Yes. Well, front load. With that being said, Blackout Coffee. But also it's good though. That's the other thing. I never want to push something that's trash or just so we could get money. I won't do it. I think we talked about this last time, like the hashtags and the algorithms and stuff. I try to be very precise and like, because I don't know. This isn't for everybody. A lot of people will be like, fuck this, I'm out. But I will also say, I got my first little residual for the book, bro. Street Tales Volume 1.
There we go.
I gotta figure out how to do this better, bro. Street Tales Volume 1, available on Amazon and StreetTalesNetwork.com, where you can also get the Street Tales Network apparel, which, dude, I love how these shirts.
I love the shirts, bro.
Bro, the shirts are banging, bro. I love it.
I'm laughing. This is something that we used to laugh about back in the day.
Yeah.
Every time you say, I have a little, I get a little laugh in my brain. You remember? I don't even know what the show was, but it was that British dude.
Okay.
He was like, Sniper out now on all digital platforms.
Oh yeah. Damn, what was his name, bro?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Every time we do like a little promo, I get that in the back of my head, bro. I just laugh.
Available on all digital platforms. Shout out whoever that guy is. I forgot his name.
Oh my God. But yes, please, guys, please go get the book. Amazon, Walmart, anywhere you can buy books. Please go support it. Please go pick up a copy.
Online. It ain't in any stores yet, bro.
Oh yeah,
that's next year's. That's next year's endeavor. Yeah. I got too much shit, bro.
That goes without saying. Does anybody actually go into the store and buy shit anymore? I hardly ever do.
I don't know,
bro. I had to go into the store. Obviously, I had to go buy a new suit for a wedding. I needed one. And I was like, I should actually go in the store.
Yeah.
So now I have to go, obviously, go get, you know how it is, go get a suit,
Yeah.
gotta get tailored. But I'm like, I actually have some other things I need to get tailored as well. So I'm like, it's gonna be like
Might
a,
as well.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm like outside of that, I don't know if I actually go into the store to like buy things.
Yeah. Except
Like
for
what?
groceries, which
Like I mean, I was going to say outside of groceries, what do you go into the store to buy?
yeah. Well, my daughter.
What Lowe's?
Well, yeah. You know what? Home Depot
Yeah, Home Depot,
or
Lowe's.
Lowe's or whatever, whichever one's your flavor. But yeah, and usually if you do a project, especially if I do it, you got to go 3 or 4 times in the same day for the same project. Just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter gave me her Christmas wish list, and I love her to death. She's like, "I want a Lego thing or whatever." I'm not going into Walmart looking for a Lego thing, so I ordered it this morning. It'll be here this afternoon.
There you go.
Like, what are we doing, bro?
There we go. Saves me
Too easy.
time. You know, I don't have to look around for it. It's just so convenient, bro.
On the suit front, they don't not a sponsor at all.
Mm-hmm.
Scene, SENE, love them. They're the
S-E-N-E.
ones that make I don't think they advertise as like tactical or anything suits like that, but they're stretchy suits, machine washable. They're not cheap. Well, everything's relative, right? They're $500-600, but they use AI, dude. So you go, hey, I'm this hot, I'm this tall, I weigh this much, whatever. I like this fit. Then you take a bunch of pictures from the front, side, back, all that stuff. And then they go, all right, based on what we're looking at, these are your measurements. And they just send you the suit already custom fitted to your body, bro. And so far, I've got 5 suits. I haven't missed once. I even did a little note for the boots for the wedding. I said, hey, can I get a little flared cuff at the bottom so it goes over the boot? They're like, done. Yeah, bro. It takes about a month to 5 weeks to get it. But I'm telling you, bro, quality. I still haven't tested out the machine washable aspect of it.
Yeah.
They say that it is, but I don't know. Something in me is like, I can't. It's worth the $30, whatever, to just dry clean it.
Oh, I see right here. Early Black Friday sale. Save $200
Yeah, bro.
off Tech Flex suits, custom made suits.
Yeah, bro. There you go. Custom to your body, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check this out.
Because your thing is gonna be like 78-inch wide, 97-inch long arm. What are these measurements? You're like a giant dwarf, bro. You got that body. Yeah, bro. A giant dwarf, bro. We got some, well, possibly serious, well, more involved topics, but I just, obviously I got to interject a little personal shit. How long do you engage with somebody you bought a home from regarding their mail? Well, hold on. I'll give you my circumstance and you tell me if I'm out of control. I say 6 months. Okay. That's still a little long for me, but it's like, whatever, shit's happening. A year, I'm aggravated, but I'll humor you. 3 years later, you're still having packages sent to your old address, my new address. I'm throwing it in the fucking trash or return to sender if that's an option. To me, it is out fucking rageous.
First of all, how'd you get this number?
That's a different thing. Yes.
He's like, first and foremost, how'd you get this number? Right.
Yes.
And second, it wouldn't necessarily be so much as I think the time frame as so much it is the number of times, right?
So many times.
But this is what I mean, right? So it's like, hey, I've been here, 8 months, and it's like, we all have it where we have like shit set up for like cards, you're buying some shit, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
You forget to change it, whatever. Like I said, it could be 6-8 months later, you get a package. Oh shit, man, I haven't ordered anything from here for so long for like, like Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever.
I forgot.
Completely forgot, whatever, it's the first time, but that's 8 months down the road, right? But like, even if it was like 3 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, but this is like the 10th time. Hey man, first couple times you knew this was a thing, and now you need to go and like, I think once that person figures it out, hey man, this is like a couple times, you need to go and check all your shit, as opposed to like the one time randomly, like 2 years down the road when you order something from, whatever, right? But like, if it's like, 6 months, now 8 months, now again, hey man, what package?
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I got nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, I will say this, because an address that I lived in 5 years ago is also going to get a Lego car because I ordered it before I realized, and I get whatever their metrics are. I said, oh, well, fuck it. They're going to get something. Yeah. But I have no expectations to reach out to them and say, hey, can you hold? I just ordered it again and made sure that
it depends. It depends on what it is too.
I don't give a shit, bro. It's been 5 years.
And what if it's like medication or some shit that you ordered there?
5 years, bro. 5 years.
I need that.
I don't know, bro.
I need that. I'm going to get that.
I guess we don't have clarity. I guess it depends, but for me, it's a fucking irritation.
It is. There's a few times I'll be like, hey man, tighten this up, or it'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And real quick, we'll jump into your stuff because you did some cool stuff this week. But we actually had a comment. I can't figure out if it was on YouTube or they just all come into my inbox. So I can't remember where it's from. A viewer commented on our chemtrail conversation. I think I called the guy a doctor, but he goes, he's not a fucking doctor. His name is Dane Wigington. And the dude went on, the viewer went on a tirade about how the dude's a fraudster and a scam artist and he's full of shit. And I was just like, okay, man, appreciate your support. But a couple things to address on this, and DJ, this is my view. You jump in with yours. We just like talking about stuff, and I'm not a scientist or a doctor or a PhD in any of those things. And what I will say is, if you think it's so far out the realm that the government would do that, or let's just not even say the U.S. government, any government would do that, I think you're wrong.
Yes, yeah,
that's my opinion. Whether that guy is full of shit or not, I don't know.
Here's what I say about a lot of this. You know me, I love a good conspiracy theory, right?
Yes.
Sidebar, people thought I was crazy about 9/11, and I told you that shit looked fucked up. And the reason why I say that is when I'm looking at something, this does not make sense. It doesn't make sense as to why this is happening. It not making sense to me, like looking at the situation either contextually or just how it looks, is not the same thing as like I can't reason about like why this would happen, right? I don't need to have a reason why this doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make I'm looking at it. It doesn't make sense. I don't necessarily need to have an explanation from myself or from someone else to be like, oh, see, I told you it's true. Like the moon landing is bullshit.
And the earth is flat. Continue.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the moon landing's bullshit. You're looking at it like nothing about that makes sense. Like they called the landline from the moon.
I don't know.
Does that make sense? Bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense to anybody? It's like we don't have the technology to get there anymore, but we could call the moon, the White House from the moon. Get the fuck out of here, right? So some of this stuff is like, is it plausible? Could be. It's like for anybody who hasn't ever investigated crimes, right? Or just anything. We all have gut feeling, intuition. We all have that, right? It's like this. I know this motherfucker's lying to me. I just can't prove it. But deep down, it's like, something's not right about what you're saying. Something's not right about the story. Something's off about this. I don't know what it is yet, but I know something's fucked up. It's like that for most.
I don't like it.
And I don't like it. So yeah, the chemtrail thing, yeah, I could see that. That's plausible to me. Do I know it is for sure?
In the realm of
it's in the realm of possibilities. Yeah. It's in the realm of possibilities. Just like the earth could be flat. It could be. I don't know. Put it this way, and this is why I say this. As somebody, you've traveled the world, right? You've been on planes, you've traveled the world, right? I've been in some places. I don't think as a on a broad scale, people understand how big the world actually is. I think you guys are so used to looking at a map on like a screen or like a singular thing that you think it's like a lot closer than what it is. It's not that close.
Yeah.
Like shit is actually really, really far apart. Yeah. Like people think Eurasia is the size of Africa. It's not. It is not. It's not even fucking close. America's not even as close. Like, you guys understand that North America and South America are almost the same size as Africa?
Yeah.
And you know how big the United States is?
Most people don't have any.
But we have no idea how big. So it's like you're just looking at shit. Anyway, I forgot my point. But what I'm saying is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be flat, bro. You don't know how big that shit is. You don't know.
Last thing, and I'm sorry about this, BJ, because I want to. You took a leadership class. I want to talk about that,
yes.
And then I want to get into these other things. I was having this conversation a couple days ago about wealth and the idea of wealth, and I thought it was a productive conversation. But what I realized or solidified is wealth is relevant to the person, right? Meaning, this conversation started with this. It's like, why do people who rent an apartment or whatever, who live in, they don't own a house or property, but they drive a BMW and have $5,000 whatever Gucci product. I don't know, luxury stuff. And I'm like, because in my opinion, they're obsessed with the trappings of wealth as opposed to real wealth. And that's kind of how the conversation got started. But then I started thinking about myself. I was like, I'll wear the same clothes until I can't wear them anymore. Let's phrase it that way. Because to me, that's not important. But experiences are. I'll spend 10, 20 grand, 30 grand on an experience because that to me, I have nothing to show for it other than my personal experience with it. That's wealth to me. Whereas other people are like, oh, I need a bigger house, more land. I need a whatever. I need the, 200. I need a Bugatti or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
So, what is wealth? So I explain wealth to me is experiences, and I will say also comfort, because that was the other part of the question. Was like, well, a lot of dudes retire from law enforcement, they go and they jump into another job, and they're chasing that dollar bill. And I'm like, as long as I can have a place to stay, food in my body,
Mhm.
and I have that, it doesn't need to be big or anything like that. But as long as I can maintain my life, doesn't even have to be my lifestyle, just my life, I
Mhm.
will be okay. Might not be
Mhm.
great. To me, that's more important than continuing to chase the dollar. But what does wealth mean or look like to you?
I think you're right. I think wealth is relative, right? So it depends on what I think wealth depends on what you find to be important, and can the finances that you have get you that, right? So when people say shit like money can't buy happiness, I'm like, that's bullshit. Money essentially is just a tool. Money is a tool, right? So I was having this conversation recently with someone, and I was like, I would say like in the last couple years or so, I said I feel like I'm the richest that I've ever been. But when I was saying that, it had nothing to do with money, right? Because money is not of that great importance to me. I think when people do things, it's about what is important to you, and what you can get with the money, right? So, like you said, experiences are that for you. If you couldn't have the experiences because of the money, you would feel like, oh man, I'm missing out because of whatever. Even if you did have you know like a BMW that was paid off, or a house that was paid off, if you couldn't afford to like go have the experiences, you would feel like, I'm not where I want to
Yeah,
be, or whatever. I feel like you feel like in some form of lack. You feel like you're lacking something, right?
yeah,
To me, I just need to have enough. To me, it's really about enough. And I think you said an important thing about some people being in the trappings of the dollar. um, I don't I don't seek external validation. So for me, it's hard for me to fall into the trappings of money, in the sense of keeping up with the Joneses, or I got to have the latest thing, or have the latest thing, or whatever. Right? For me, it's
yeah,
like, oh, what I mean, I'll go spend, certain amount of money on a piece of workout equipment, or some, uh, products for like speakers, or whatever, because those are the things that bring me joy. I want to buy more things that bring me joy that I need. Going on a trip, having a nice dinner, buying better fucking food products so I can cook better, and doing like shit like that. So I think I think it is relative to what you find to be important. It was, and if money is one of those things, I think you'll never be able to have enough of it if it's not, because it's an external thing, right? I think this was J. Cole was talking about this on an interview. I think it was Angel Martinez. It's like, if a lot of your shit is external, it's like you'll never have enough of it, right?
no,
So if it's cars, if it's this, if it's, specifically like money, like you'll never have enough money to be quote unquote happy, if that's your deal. So I think it is relative. And I think what's the saying? Money doesn't make you, it just makes you more of who you are, right? So when like people have it. So like if money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing?
yeah,
You're like, if I hit the Powerball, like, are you gonna quit? I'm like, no, I like what I do. I'm
yeah,
not gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit. Now there'll be signs. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I might look a little different while I'm doing it, but I would still be doing the same thing. And that's what I mean by like, I feel as rich as I've ever felt, because for the most part, I'm doing not, there's really not much that I'm doing that I don't want to be doing.
yeah.
Like I'm pretty much doing everything that I want.
Now let me ask you this, because you know where I came from, and I know where
Hmm.
you came from. What about when people look at you now and go, "Yeah, you're up there because everything was given to you, everything came so easy to you. You're
Hmm.
up there in your ivory tower."
Hmm.
Which is funny to say, but there are still people who say that shit to us, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Bro, do you
No,
I am a fart in the wind compared to actual wealth, bro. Like, you have no concept of
you have
wealth."
no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I've met
But
people who
again,
have palaces, multiple,
yeah,
plural.
I think people that say things like that lack, lack, context, right? And
Yeah,
they lack scope, right? So, and again, it's like, and when I was, and again, one of the reasons why I say feeling rich now, it's like, I remember when, when I didn't have a bike, I mean? Like, damn, I really want a bike so I can, get around, and this is obviously before you could drive. Like, yeah, I want to have a really nice
yeah,
bike so I could get around the neighborhood. And once I started like, oh man, I just want a car. Doesn't have to be like the nicest one. I just want a car so I can get around. Right. And so I think as we move further away from those things, like the basics, I'm a very, very basic, uh, basic bitch. Very, very basic guy, right? Like
yeah,
I don't need a lot of things to be happy to sustain myself. So I was like, man, I never lived into a house until I bought my own. This is on the scope, but again, I have scope and experience. Like I've seen where where some people live. what they go home, what they drive, and whatever. And but at the same time, I can't get tied up in that. This is what
Yeah.
I got. This is what I feel good and what not. There's really not that much of a difference
Yeah.
between you know even the shit, even apartment or house. Do you like it?
Well, listen, I'm not shitting on people that want to live in apartments. That's not the
No.
point. That wasn't the point. Well, the point was me saying to me, that's not, you don't have wealth, but to them, they might be exactly where they want to
Where they
be
want to
and
be?
they're
Yeah.
happy with it. That hopefully that came through. I don't know if it
Yeah.
did. I
Yeah.
think I
No. Yeah.
glossed over that. I wasn't shitting on it, but to me, the trappings of wealth don't mean anything to me. But I guess, hey, I'm going to Japan or I'm traveling. People are like, oh my God, that dude must be, even though I'm driving a 15-year-old truck and, I wear my own apparel.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is
There's no name brand.
100% relative. It's like, well, but I think once you kind of break down the all of it, it is relative because again, you doesn't. Bro, there's plenty of people who don't have exorbitant amounts. And again, well, for the sake of context, what we're talking about, I think there's a very vast difference between rich and wealthy, and what those things mean. I feel rich. I don't. I wake up. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. As they say, first world problems. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Right. I have zero needs at all in the world, which is to me. I'm like, isn't that kind of the fucking point?
It is for me.
Right.
I know. My first world problems is like, how much money am I willing to spend on more leg room on this flight I'm taking?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you
Yeah.
like relatively speaking, be like, "Oh, I can't fly on a plane with other people. Like, I need to have my own flight." But I'm like, okay, man.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, don't get mad when that happens, baby. We have a Street Tales Network fucking private jet, baby.
Oh, I'm not again.
Let's
Don't get
go.
me
I ain't
wrong.
gonna knock
Like,
it.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. If I had the access to some of the stuff, again, there would be signs, right? I
Oh,
was like, but I don't need that to feel
yeah.
rich, or I don't need that to feel. I think the biggest thing, and I think maybe this is where the question was being asked from a sense of if you're not at the highest heights, like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I don't use
Yeah.
money to base, but money doesn't give me value.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this one last thing, and I think it ties into leadership. Oh, well,
Hmm.
I assume we haven't talked about it yet because I was having this conversation with my daughter about she's in a bunch of honors classes and stuff, and she works her ass off. She really does. Proud of her.
Hmm.
But she sees her classmates who it's not that they're dumb, right? It has nothing to do with that. They don't want to do homework. They don't study. They don't give a shit, which seems to be a vast problem. I don't know when this started, but anyway, whatever. The whole point was, and I'm like, and she goes, and they're going to graduate just like I am.
Hmm.
I said, "Yep, they absolutely will." I said, "Now, let me ask you this: when you go on to college and you have a successful career and all the things that a dad wants for his kids, right?
Hmm.
And then somebody looks at you and says, "Well, yeah, of course you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and everything was just given to you because whatever, you're pretty or whatever the answer is."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Remember these conversations when you're calling me at 10 o'clock at night because you're doing homework and you have a question and the hours and the time that you put in. You'll never convince them that that's what it took to get you where you are."
Hmm.
I said, "They will be upset in their life if they continue that path." I'm not saying you can't change. Listen, I was a shithead in high school, buddy.
Hmm.
I was a fucking shithead. I was also probably that kid.
Hmm.
But I changed when I went to college. So anyway, what I'm saying is you can't change, but if you continue that, I'm the victim, nothing, everything goes easy to everybody else, but you're not actually putting in the work yourself, you will never be successful and you will just grow up to be an angry adult.
100%.
Hard work will get you a lot of fucking places, buddy.
Hard work will get you a lot of places because there are a lot of people not willing to do certain things. Right?
Bro, Kevin, comedian, bro, help me.
Come on, Hart.
Kevin Hart. Jeez, I keep wanting to say Kevin Williams. It's not right. Kevin Hart. He was on Joe Rogan. Said he had like a 600 on his SAT or something. Like he was.
Hmm.
He goes, I think they give you that for putting your name on it. And Rogan was even like, you want to say that on here? He's like, I don't give a shit. He goes, I got hundreds of millions in the bank, baby. But no one can say that man did work.
Yeah, I think it's.
I guess that's my point.
But yeah, and here's what I say about work. I think it depends on why you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then some of this comes from internal, external validation. You're never going to be able to tell somebody to do the work, right? So some people just do what they need to do to get by.
Yeah.
That's just most people do that, right? Especially if you lack interest in the subject. But you can't take away what someone's done or what they've gained based off the hard work, right? So
Mhm.
in her in what's the saying? I was like, people who graduate, summa cum laude, but people who graduate with a C, they still call them doctor, right? I was like,
Yes, sir.
but, who would you rather have working on your thing? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want the one who's put in the work and done this or whatever, right? So the work and the merit will show when it's time, right? So
Yeah.
when the time comes, you'll be prepared, you'll be ready. Thing is, that's what it was. I think it's on TBD's like training range or whatever, right? It's like we don't rise to the occasion, we sink to the level of our training,
Yeah.
right? So it's like when the time comes, all the shit that you're doing, all the work you're putting in is going to matter for something. It'll reveal itself at some point,
Yeah.
and you can't fake that,
Yeah.
right? So it's like that's why I love gym shit or like physical strength or shit, certain shit. It's like you can't fake that, and you can't take it away. And that's why I've always been kind of focused on excelling in things or um, looking at shit or gaining things in areas that people can't take shit away from me, right? So it's like I'm mentioning all the areas that people can't take it away from me, right? So it's like your character, your integrity, your genuineness. If you're, how you treat people. And I was like, people can't take that away from you, right?
Nope.
Can't take it away. It can't be taken away. And then you can't fake it. It's like, Rob, as you were saying, it's like bench 500 pounds. Like you know what? Like you and I both know what it took to get
Yeah.
that. One of us
I can
was
say I've
one.
never done that.
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
never
It's like,
done that. So
but
yes.
but damn, that person did something that I either wasn't able to do, wasn't willing to do, or
Yeah.
whatever, and did that. I can't say anything about that. And she'll get there. She'll get there. And for anybody who's listening to this that's dealing or struggling with that, internal validation is the best thing that you can have. If everything you do is based off of external validation, again, you'll never be happy. You'll always be, um, you'll always be at the you always be controlled by other people because you're looking to them to say what you're doing is okay or if it's enough. It's got to be enough for you. Like most things I do, it's enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do shit because I like it.
I have in my adult age, I have maybe I'll say less than 10 because the number fluctuates, just kind of depends on
Mhm.
what the topic is. But there's really a solid handful of people in my life that if they say something to me because I'm fucked up, it'll hit me or hurt me or
Mhm.
it'll make me stop and go, okay, I need to reevaluate. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says, bro. Now I will say when high school, college, your teammates, those are 100 dudes. They're fucking number 100 over here. If he said something, oh damn, am I fucked up? And I don't know, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, yeah.
it's a team thing more than anything else. But as you get older, it's like, could you imagine if you gave a fuck what
Everyone said,
30 people, 50 people, 100 people? Oh my god, bro, I'd be miserable because
bro, I can't
I don't
even
have the
imagine.
capacity for it.
I'm telling you, it. So we'll get to the leadership.
Yeah,
But I was sitting in there. I think it was like day 3 or 4. And they were talking about, as we're doing it's in a discussion portion of the thing. And somebody's in there talking about like, you know, how do we get through to people? How do we know what if, our perceptions of our subordinates and of our peers or whatever. And I remember kind of just like zoning out for a second, being like, how do I, oh, that's what it was. So they were talking about public speaking, right? Public speaking. And this person was talking about how they were nervous to get up in front of people and speak. And makes me nervous. And I go, what do they think of me? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember just thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't struggle with that. I don't like public speaking because I just don't necessarily care for it too much.
yeah,
I was like, but they're like, yeah, but you do so well. Like, that was great. Awesome presentation, blah, blah. I was like, I want to be like, you know why that is? My own personal philosophy I've come up with. Fuck these people. That's why I'm able to do that when I do a cosplay. Man, fuck these people. Like when I know it sounds crazy. I was like, but at the very, very core of it, right, of the
yeah,
internal validation is why I don't seek external validation because one, who the fuck are you? Two, what makes you think you're better than me? Three, man, fuck you. Like in the sense of right, not, and
yeah,
again, not putting anybody else down, but like, why am I worried about the opinions of someone else who I like who I am? I like me. But not to say that I can't improve on things, whatever, but I like who I am. So
yeah.
why would I worry about what you have to say about me? You don't know me. So
Bro,
fuck.
it's funny you bring that up because Joe Rogan had Adam Carolla on, and Adam Carolla was talking much about what you're saying, and he was
Mhm,
saying that what he's found in his life, and he was referring to Joe Rogan. He's like, "You are an expert, if not an expert, you're highly talented and skilled at jujitsu and archery, hunting, podcasting,
mhm,
UFC, whatever that is, commentary, comedian, business, all
mhm.
he's excelling at all these things. He's at the top of his game in some, and others he's just very skilled at, whatever. So he has all these things that he knows. He's a black belt in jujitsu or
Yeah,
whatever. So he has all these things. So when he starts wading into waters and things maybe he's not as good at, and he gets corrected or whatever, it doesn't hit him as hard as somebody who has nothing of value. And he goes, in Adams Carolla's point of view was there's a lot more people that are not exceptional at anything and
Mhm.
so they get upset about everything
Yeah.
because they don't have that core thing where like, all right, I might not be good at this, but look,
Mhm.
I gotta fucking
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? I've got a backlog. Not a backlog. Damn it, bro. I hate it when I do these things. I've got a fucking resume of shit that I'm very good at,
Yeah.
and it gives you confidence, and it also just kind of helps you find your center
Mhm.
when things are going a little bit swirly.
Yeah, and it's
So that's
strange
what I'm
that
saying. You know, you can bench press 500 pounds. You know, you have your skill sets.
yeah,
Someone's like, BJ, yeah, you fucked up. I don't know, whatever it is. You built that patio furniture, fucked up. Okay, well, I'll
like,
fix
okay.
what I'm saying. It doesn't like
Yeah.
rock you to your core,
Yeah,
and it
no.
doesn't make you rage with anger. It's like, all right, well, that's not something I'm skilled at
Yeah. Like,
yet.
well,
Yet, I'd
and
say you are now, though.
yeah, but that's another thing too, is that, I've also learned is that, this also came up in the class as well. They're talking about dealing with, like, people like, some of the things they talked about was, like, the fear of, what holds people back is, like, fear of failure, right? And I'm like,
Yeah,
"I'm not afraid to fail at anything," right? They're like and I think that's what holds a lot of people back. The fear of failure, the fear of embarrassment, the fear of whatever. And I'm like, I don't not to say that I don't experience it, but not to the degree that it's paralyzing, right? And
no,
again,
yeah,
that's what brings you back to the sense of fuck these people. It's like you want me to worry about the opinions and the thoughts of people who are one don't like themselves, two or who haven't done anything. They
yeah,
haven't done anything. They haven't branched out. They haven't tried to do anything. So I'm like, where's your basis of criticism and critique coming from? If you don't
yeah,
like it, you don't like it. I can't remember where I would obviously probably from fucking an Instagram reel or fucking TikTok or whatever, right? But it's like, the thing was like, you'll never, people, it's like, the boos rarely come from the court. Boos don't come from the court. They come from the stands.
yeah,
Because people who are out there on the court understand what's happening and know what's going on. It's
yeah.
like, you're not going to see, people who never get shit from a bodybuilder for working out. They'll never get shit from a teacher for trying to learn something new or whatever. It's like, you're never going to
Mm,
get that from people who are already doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're
yeah,
trying like, oh, because they know what it takes to try. Like, it's almost like it's like, damn, we knocking people for trying shit or
yeah,
for doing what makes them happy. Like we really upset for doing. So I never really understand like negative comments or now funny comment, yes. Negative comments, I don't understand. Right, where like the purpose of what you're saying is to like put somebody down. Right, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like they're doing again. They had the courage and the ability to just try and put the shit out there, and we're knocking them for that. What the fuck have you done?
yeah. Fair enough. Let's talk about your leadership course because I think
Yeah,
it's a good
man.
segue.
So I took this leadership academy, I guess the base level, number one.
You did your
Um,
homework. Got it.
I did. I had the PowerPoint
Bro,
and the
Baxter
PowerPoint
was
in front of me.
hilarious with that shit.
It's fucking funny. No, trust me, it came up a lot in the week. It's like it's an elephant in the room, but like, hey guys, you're gonna have
Really?
something to do. You're gonna have something to do at the end of this week.
Yeah.
Okay, like
We'll move on.
got it right. Um, but it's one of those things where it's like you had to not your typical like I guess cop class if you will. Like so it's not like fucking speed measurements or interview and interrogations where it's kind of like checkbox kind of thing. Like you have to it's a class you had to apply for, right? Not just put in for, you had to apply for, right? So you
Good.
had to like do some work up front, write a little something. Hey, why do you want to do this? Give your opinions, that kind of thing. So it was very, very good, very enlightening. A lot of things we touched on, and some of
Who
the things
taught it? Who taught it? Was
it
it
was a
internal?
internal, a lot of
Okay.
multitude of different instructors.
I like that, bro. I'm glad they're doing something like that. That's
Yeah,
great.
and that was the reason for them coming up with it and doing it was because they saw, hey, we see an area where we have um, supervisors, and we'll get into the difference of that in a second. We have supervisors who don't really have good leadership, and it's like it's never really been addressed. And one thing I did learn in the class, because I didn't go to the military, but some of the guys who were in the class, attending it and also teaching it,
Yeah.
were like, hey, for most people, when their first day in the military, one of the first, it's like day one. Like they learn about leadership day one. Like
Yeah.
it's ingrained into the
Everything they do.
philosophies, everything that they do, it's ingrained. Leadership is ingrained from the very beginning. Here, and again, this is obviously completely different. This is the civilian world. It's not that it's not touched on, but it's not something that's I would say ingrained so heavily because you're learning a different skill set, right? We're trying to teach you how to do a specific job, not necessarily how to be a leader, right? So we're looking at that like, we're seeing a deficiency in like leadership qualities, even from some supervisors. We need to address this. This is how we're going to address this by doing this thing.
Were there other
Well,
supervisors in the class?
not supervisors in the class. There were supervisors teaching the class. But I think it's going to be I think internally it's going to be a way for it. I think again, don't quote me on this. What I think is probably going to happen is you're going to have this type of training prior to being able to apply to be a supervisor, which I think is a
Nice.
good thing.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
great thing.
yeah, right. So we learned that obviously there's a difference in being a leader, leadership, and supervising people,
For sure.
right? So there's people who are you don't necessarily have to be a supervisor to be a leader, right? Was again big part of the class. Leadership skills, leadership qualities, leadership styles. Focused on like personal development, how to help other people develop, what type of leader you're going to be, communication, having difficult conversations, that kind of stuff. So it was really good overall class. It's like I work on my own personal development, so some of the stuff is not foreign to me. But it was definitely good to kind of like get a refresher and do shit like that. So I think it was a great class, and I love what they're doing with it, and where it is designed to take the agency going forward.
Nice. Anything you want to add on to that? Because we got 3 more things.
Oh no, it was we can move on from that. It's
All right.
yeah.
Well,
I did
now we're
get
getting into.
I did get a nice certificate and a nice coin. Hold on, I got the coin.
Oh, you got a coin, bro? Let me
I
see
got
it.
a coin. I got a coin.
I love coins, dude.
I need to get my freaking coin case redone.
I've been floating around the idea of getting a Street Tales coin network. It'll have all the shows on it,
Alright.
almost like a badge. Yeah, that's nice, bro. I like
Got
it.
that one. That's the one side. Then the other side.
Yeah, there you go. I like it, bro.
Yeah.
I will say I'm still having to get used to the new patch. I'm not sure if I'm a fan, but I like the old one. But I get it.
As opposed to the old patch.
I love the old patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did. Anyway, I don't know. I believe in that stuff. You know what? Maine State Police did a good job on that.
Mhm.
Almost to my own detriment at one point. They're very much in the nostalgia and historical stuff.
Mhm.
And so the patch is the patch. It's been that way since whenever it was founded, to my detriment, meaning the original uniforms were wool.
Mm.
It's a good way to learn that you're allergic to wool
Yeah.
when it's in your pants
Mm.
and you break out with a nasty rash all over your fucking leg. And you're like, am I dying? And you're allergic to wool. Okay.
Yeah.
Good way to find out. But they would try to incorporate elements of their historical stuff. I mean, they're trying to advance and keep up with the times, obviously, but I don't know. I tend to like that kind of stuff.
I'm laughing because that reminds
Barring
me
some
when
sort of wild, crazy, racial or horrible incident that's like, "Oh, well, this is when it was found." No. You can't have that.
yeah, it reminds me when you had the cotton shirts underneath the vest.
Oh my god,
Why am I
bro.
bringing it?
Dude, that was bad, bro. Alright, so let's talk about it for 2 seconds. Attire when you're in uniform, it doesn't matter where you're at because 'cause you're wearing a
Yeah.
Kevlar vest.
Uh-huh.
1, you never want Kevlar to touch your skin.
Mhm.
It's like a fucking cheese grater, so you wear an undershirt. Well, it took me hopefully it didn't take me that long, maybe 2, 3 months?
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully it wasn't longer than that, I don't know. I'm gonna say 2, 3 months to make myself feel better. I can't actually remember how long it took. I was just wearing a normal cotton, whatever, Fruit of the Loom, whatever the fuck it is, under like you would wear under like a dress shirt. Holy hell. My back was shredded. I mean, I don't fucking nipples were bleeding. I had blood running down my shirt. I was like, I'm dying. I don't know what to do. And you're like, bro, what are you wearing? And I immediately I dropped, I don't know how much I got Under Armour shirts and I never had the problem again.
It's like, why would you
It
not wear
was
Under Armour?
brutal, dude. Again, I like to learn all my lessons the hard way. Somebody might be listening to this going, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I didn't know.
The funniest part about it is like, bro, my fucking
Dude, I had to like tape my nipples for a few weeks so they could heal.
I'm sorry, bro. God.
True story, bro. True story.
Let's move on.
I want to talk about 3 things now that we're 40 something minutes into this thing.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the Ryan Montgomery episode with Sean Ryan because it hit on a bunch of things that are all. He talked about 749, which is, I don't know if you pay attention to the big news, which is a thing the FBI is really heavily going after. I've known about this for 10 years, maybe 15. I don't know, because I took a bunch of training. There's a lot of things I learned about in training that you're not allowed to talk about in public, just true facts. And there's some entities out there that are horrific criminal entities that I don't have the juice or the ability to defend what would come down the pipe.
Yep. Just kind
But
of leave that
they
way.
are extraordinary. Bro, we talked about it offline, and I hate doing this to our listeners, but they can figure it out if they want to. Rogan had a guy on that was talking about one specific entity on his podcast a few years ago. You can't find it anymore. It's gone.
Really?
That's how powerful they are. Yes. and their whole thing is bringing down the age requirements for sexual relations. So their whole thing is there should be no age limit on it, and people could figure that out on their own. I highly recommend you don't, because you'll get put on a list. Long story short, there are powerful groups. So 749's been around for a long time. Anyway, Ryan Montgomery, he's a ethical hacker. Again, I'm somewhat of a cyber guy, but I am not in the same realm as a lot of these dudes. I'm beep bop boop compared to these guys. Know enough to know that I don't know shit. But he uses his skill sets in conjunction with law enforcement to go after these child sex rings and human trafficking rings. And for people who don't know, man, this shit's help me explain this, BJ. The public at large is either willfully ignorant or just it's like they don't want to know. That might be the same thing. That there are horrible, horrible groups and individuals out there that they are trying to destroy your kids' lives. And what I think is so disgusting about this specific one, 749. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Is it 749 or 746? Now I can't remember now. It might be 746. I'm throwing it all off.
Yeah. I got
Hold on, bro.
I thought it was 9.
I think it's 9. Hold on. Give me a second.
Oh, you're on the list.
Yeah, now I gotta never mind. It's a little correct it live on the air, maybe if it's wrong. Yeah, it is 749. Okay, thank God. But they are trying to groom children, kidnap, they basically figure out ways to kidnap children. Also, what I think is that's awful enough. They get children to commit suicide, commit self-mutilation, child abuse, or animal abuse. Actually, there's connections where they'll basically get them to go hurt other kids. And we're talking like 12 and under.
Yeah. They're impressionable.
And they use various methods. Again, I don't know how all the things work. We don't have an attorney for this show, so if people start hammering us, I'm not doing it. But they can go to any social media platform, and that's how they do it. But the group itself, that's their mission, that's their purpose. And anyway, so Ryan Montgomery talks about how he goes after them, and he also has a bunch of different stuff on how people can just hack anything and everything, no matter where you are, get all your fucking data.
It's just crazy, bro. But I think to your question, explain this. I think people are really just oblivious. I think they really are oblivious to the actual real life dangers that exist in the world. Like there's real evil people, nasty, disgusting people in the world. And it's like, I think they're oblivious because they don't know. So I learn a lot of shit, and the people all the time are like, and we get it all the time. Oh man, why is there 5 cops on the day? It's like, there's nothing going on there. Nothing's happening. Relax. Is it safe? Like, it's a relative question. I don't even answer it anymore. The way I answer that now anymore is like, people are like, oh my God, is everything okay? I was like, is it safe? I was like, I feel safe where I am. I don't know if you feel safe where you're at. I do. Yeah. Right? It's like, but when you tell people like, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't go here. Hey, try not to do this. Hey, do that. It's not because you're scared or whatever. It's like, I have a better scope of the actual dangers that really exist. When you're like, hey man, like, I don't want my girl going out late at night without me. How you beginning to say it's not because I'm being controlling, it's because I know the actual real fucking dangers that are out here, and I don't want you out here without my protection or my cover. Like what it's not hard to understand. Same thing with kids. It's like, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't go there. Call me before you do something. Hey, get permission before you go here. There might be a reason why I'm telling you not to do that. And people really are oblivious. So like, because again, a lot of shit that happens doesn't, for people listening, I don't think you understand. If you get all of your information from just the news, there is a lot of things that happen, a lot of shit that happens that does not hit the news. It never does.
No.
It never hits the news. You never know about it. So I don't think it's necessarily ignorance. I think they really are just oblivious. Like they really don't know that it's happening. They have no idea. Yeah. And I actually don't think that the public at large could handle it.
Well, I know they definitely wouldn't and couldn't handle the imagery that is associated with it.
I don't think they could.
Have you worked a lot of cases like that or seen that?
I don't work those cases, bro.
Okay. So
that ain't my thing. And you know why that's not my thing.
I understand.
Because I can't, I don't, it would be hard for me it would be hard for me personally and where I am in my life, in my personal development. It would be hard for me to stay within the confines of what I'm allowed to do in the law to work those cases. I know that about myself. I don't want any part of it because, like we said before, if I know some shit and I can't prove the shit, I'm going to be very, very upset.
Yes. So to your point, what I'm trying to say is there's cases like this all over the country, the hundreds, but I can speak to a few that I've actively been in the courtroom. One, it's amazing to me that this person's being charged with a horrific, horrific crime. And they now are like, hey, the courtroom is set up now where you're like, you can't bias the jury. So you can't show them the images or the videos or whatever this person made while doing these horrific acts. So you, the investigator, have to go in and describe it to them. So here I am looking at it and I'm using my words to describe it. And even in my descriptions, people are crying. They're getting upset. They're like, no, that's, and I'm like, if I could just do that, you'd be like, holy fuck. But I have personally been involved in 2 cases where I'll speak on one where the individual, the person who got arrested, he got found not guilty, even with all this evidence. And so we're just like, how is this possible? And the foreman was like, we just couldn't imagine a human being doing that to a child. It had nothing to do with the facts and the evidence. They were just like, that's just not possible. And it's like, it fucking happened. The victim is right here with the injuries that occurred. It did happen. Those are the things that irritate the shit out of me. You know how there's like a secret court for FISA stuff and like, foreign nationals? I'm like, there needs to be like a separate whole deal for these criminals. Once again, that effort's being subverted by a very powerful group because a lot of their members are politicians, judges, lawyers, CEOs, wealthy people. These are all facts, bro. It's facts. And the guy told me when he was teaching the class and he explained it, I remember like 5 of us going, I wish you would have never told me that. You've given me the burden of knowledge and now I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
I don't know what to do with this information. It makes me angry.
I think that leads into one of the other things, the files.
Epstein?
Right.
Well, hold on. Let me, I don't know how we're going to navigate this because what I'm more interested now in, and I guess the questions I have, because if people are too stupid to realize that this is a political fucking baseball bat, that's nobody wants everything to come out, period, the end. Neither side wants it all to come out. And I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I'm more of the thing where.
What do you mean nobody wants it? Like, you mean the people or politicians? Both sides of the
politicians.
Side. Okay.
Neither side.
Okay.
And I've heard rational arguments on both sides. If he was working for foreign intel and all this other stuff, and he has all this incriminating stuff on foreign entities, okay, it's like, what are we gonna do with that? We still have to, America, right, has to work with these other countries. We're not going to go arrest their, we're not going to do that. It's not how it works. It's not how it works, right? We're not going to go arrest some powerful individual in another country because of you see what I'm saying? That's not how anything works. So now you have this burden of knowledge. My problem is, fine, keep that where it is. I don't give a shit what side of the aisle you're on. If you're engaged in this or engaged in the cover up of this or any aspect of this, you should be prosecuted. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't care who's president, which side, politics. I don't care. That's the America side. So there's that. The other part that I find is the explanations for the relationships with Epstein. That has been more fun for me. Fun in the sense that I'm like, you guys have lost your fucking mind. And again, I don't know how to do this without using names. We'll talk through it. If I need to edit it out, BJ, we'll just say, bro, you should edit that out. The whole Trump thing. Trump is a wealthy dude, business guy, has fully admitted he knew him, broke off ties. He's like, yeah, this dude's weird around chicks or whatever. I don't like it. Get him out of here. That's one aspect. What is fascinating to me is once Epstein has been found guilty and is a sexual predator, boom, 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 the continued conversations with other politicians, I'm sure it's on both sides of the aisle, but whatever, and their word salad on explaining it. So I'll talk about this one. She's a congresswoman out of Puerto Rico, Plaskett, whatever her fucking name is. She's texting this dude, the Jeffrey Epstein. This is well after everybody knows what he is. She's texting him during a congressional hearing, asking him questions and having him tell her what questions to ask during a hearing. That's wild. Her defense of that was, he's a constituent. I talk to my constituents. So then that makes every rational, reasonable person go, let's see, I don't have my congressperson's personal cell phone number. And even if I did, what are the odds that that individual would let me feed them questions to ask? Okay, so that's wild. Then all the politicians that are now being like, we're not just, because there's this is where it gets, the laziness gets in. If Jeffrey Epstein just sent out a bunch of money and funded a bunch of campaigns, I guess you could say no, but most politicians aren't going to say, they don't pay attention to that shit. Oh, we got $2,000. Sweet. But there's emails saying, hey, we want you to support our campaign. And this is well after he was already convicted. So now you're engaging with this individual who's a convicted person. So then you fast forward to another Democrat who was like, y'all don't know what's going on. All these other people got money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Lee Zeldin is the one that pops up. Lee Zeldin comes out and goes, yes, Jeffrey Epstein, a neurosurgeon in New York, he's not the Jeffrey Epstein you're referring to.
Mhm.
Her defense of that was, I said a Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't mean that Jeffrey. It's like, oh, bro, what are we doing, bro? Like, this is the dumb game. This is the dumb game.
Mhm.
So it's just like, it's like, why it almost gives credence to why the intel community just says, yeah, y'all motherfuckers can't have it. You can't handle this information because you're stupid. You're stupid with how you use it.
Yes, to both sides. I think the general public wants to see it.
They just want to know who's nasty and needs to be booted. Yeah,
exactly. Who's what. And I think it's like,
but no one's going to be satisfied with whatever comes out because they're not going to release everything, bro. They're not going to do it.
But I think that's the issue, right? It's like we know they're not releasing
They're
everything.
not gonna.
Right. Well, one sidebar: who the fuck is Bubba? Because that's weird.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
All right, that's weird.
I'm not going to pontificate on things I'm not fully. I know what you're referring to, but I
know what I'm talking about. Like that's weird. That's strange.
Yep.
Right? Why would that even? Why would that? Like, no one's ever going to say that thing. Well, no one's ever going to say that about me.
Nope.
At all.
Well,
right.
Well, certain high profile people say that's why they don't have cell phones, TVs, or laptops because they're worried the intel community would be like, "Oh, you have child porn on your laptop." No, I don't. Oh, here it is. How the fuck you get on there? Yeah,
exactly.
Now you have to explain yourself.
Exactly. I don't have that. No, right? So there's that piece. I think a valid point that you brought up is like on the foreign side. What do you
want to do?
We want to do right. It's like and I always wanted this, Epstein files included, right? But it's like with obviously some of the stuff we were talking about. It's like the burden of knowledge. I think people don't understand what that is.
No.
I don't think they understand what it is.
But it's like,
I just want to know. It's like once you know, you can't unknow it. One of my sidebar to explain what I'm talking about. One of my favorite movies, and I pretty much know the movie like fucking word for word when it comes on. I could just speed that shit off when it's in the background. Men in Black. And you remember it?
But go ahead.
It's like crazy, panicky animals, and you know it. He's like, they could not handle it as a whole. And that's, and for some reason that shit always sticks out in my brain. I always think about that comment. I'm like, I think he's right. Right. So in most cases, I don't think the general public will be able to handle, like we talked about with the other shit. I don't think the general public as a whole will be able to handle one if there's fucking aliens, right? Or fucking reptilians, or if the earth is flat or round, or as a whole lot of these things that would reshape your belief system of what is happening. Right? So I think there's a part of that as to why some people don't want some of the shit to actually come out as a whole. I really don't know if people as a general public handle it. I think it should come out because I could handle it. I could look at this and be like, yeah, that's fucked up. I do need to go, or whatever. But like as a whole, I don't know, man. Like what are the ramifications of the whole thing coming out?
Well, no till it does.
Right?
Yeah.
On a similar thing, obviously not as well. I won't even say that. On a similar thing. I know I brought it up earlier, right? But the 9/11 should always look weird to me. It's not a surprise to me that 9/11 is an inside job. The shit looked like an inside job to me, right? But I remember having a conversation with people about this, about the Pentagon shit, about flight, shit that went down in the field, or, just the whole thing, right? I remember having conversations with people at around the time. It's probably like a couple years after the fact. I don't believe our government would do that. I'm sorry, what?
Why?
And I was like, why? I was like, why don't you believe that? Like, hold on. Back then, it was like, you don't believe, let alone just the government. You don't think that there's people who would do that and lie about it? And at the time, this person was a parent, right? Or is a parent, was a parent, whatever. Like, I was like, you have kids, don't you? They're like, yeah. I was like, how many times do you lie to them? They're like, I was like, do you tell them everything? Are you 100% transparent with your children about like what's happening? Are vegetables good or bad? Oh, we got food at home. Like, you lie to them all the time because you have a burden of knowledge that they don't have. And you know things that they don't know. And you can get away with lying to them and they're not going to ask you and they have no way of knowing if you're lying to them. So I'm like, what is it? Like, what are we talking about?
Having worked for the government at all the levels, again, not a politician. I don't know if I need to do this fucking preamble, but whatever. The government is made up of people. Seems very stupid and simple, but when people refer to the government, I don't know that they actually see it as a group of people. Yeah. And there's levels to that shit, and they all have the same fallible personality traits that we all have. They can truly believe something, they're doing it for the best interest, but it fucks up. Or I think what Elon, the Doge thing, when he said that a lot of it's just incompetence, millions and millions and billions of dollars just going out because somebody put it on like reoccurring payment, got fired or left the job, and nobody knew to go back in there and turn that off. So it's just been gone.
Yeah.
Is that subversion? Is that somebody? Is it waste? Yeah. Is it fraud? Yeah. Is it nefarious? Responsible? You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I mean? Like, Should it have been stopped many years ago? Yes. But again, the government, this is where, I don't know, we're going to get way off track, bro, but I just don't remember it being such a heavy reliance on the government to solve all our problems when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't,
know.
maybe it was, but that's not how it wasn't something my parents talked about. We definitely didn't talk about this shit in school. Like none of that shit was going on. It was just, there was no reliance on that.
You
Now there is like a heavy reliance for all things.
you bring that up, right? And I don't know why I've never thought about this before, but you bring that up as far as like a heavy reliance on the government. I wonder if that's a economic, like where you are economically, right? Because, and I say this, you know where you came from. I know where I came from growing up. There was no, if you didn't figure it out for yourself, it wasn't going to get done,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, we've never been reliant on the government per se to fix our, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Well, before you, I know where you're going.
yeah,
I did. I'm. You know what? I'll have to confirm this story, but
mhm,
I'm very positive there were moments in time where growing up we relied on welfare or something along those lines,
yeah,
or state health insurance, something along those
mhm,
lines, where we needed that assistance. But there, it was seen as like, well, I'll tell you, my parents weren't proud of it. They weren't like bragging
no,
about it. They weren't posting it on TikTok. I'll tell you that. But there was never an assumption that this was going to be, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life
yes,
and make sure I'm gonna create my world to fit in a way that the government has to pay me for the rest of my life so I don't
yeah,
have to do anything. That was never a thing.
yeah,
Now it's not only, and again, I'm going off social media. I don't know anybody personally like this.
mhm,
Well, with the exception of some of the stories you talked about
yeah,
down in Florida where, as for the people listening, these things really happen. Young girls were like, I need to have 4 kids as fast as possible so I can max out my Section 8, my welfare, my child care, Social Security, all this other stuff. And there were young men who were called, I think they called them studs, dude. Can you correct me
mhm.
on that?
I think so. I think if
And,
I remember
and
correctly,
these
yeah.
are like 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old men that would have, the most I ever saw was 17 kids because they would just help get these girls pregnant, but they never wanted to be around, be a dad,
Mhm,
and they were probably gonna go to jail or be dead because they were just in that world. These
yeah,
are real things. Like this is a whole community that this is how they fucking operate.
mhm,
That was not a thing when I was growing up, at least in
mm-mm,
my world. And now on YouTube or well, all social media stuff, they're talking about openly how much money they make and all the food, all this other shit. And then you're seeing on the fraud side the hundreds of millions of dollars just being poured into programs that are either being siphoned off or people are,
mhm.
I don't know.
I
Tuesday, I saw some dude had a $30,000 on his EBT card. I'm like,
yeah, I
how the
think
fuck
that's
does that happen?
yeah, I think that's the difference is,
Like
and I
he's
hear it,
proud of it, dude.
yeah, that's
Anyway,
like I think you hear, a lot of social media stuff, a lot of noise on it, right? So some other stuff where it's like government programs, so like some people actually like need these programs to kind of like, and again, it's not necessarily to, how do I put this? It's more for like it's not
it's supposed to
necessarily
be
to get it,
temporary, but
like,
yeah,
right, it's like it's not to get ahead, to, "Damn, I'm struggling, I need a little pick me up, a little something," right? And I think
yeah,
the difference is when I was, we're relatively right around the same age, it's like, but there was a negative connotation on getting it or needing it. It's like nobody wanted to be in a position to need it,
correct.
right? So nobody wanted to be in a position, it's like, "Damn, I'm fucked," like, and whatever. So, like, when you're looking at it in the sense of like, damn, people need this because they don't want to be on it. Like, they really are on hard times. They need
Yeah.
it, right? So I think there's a need for it, right? But I think when, like anything else, when people start abusing certain systems, because
Yep.
systems are systems, right? Systems are meant to address one problem. Can we agree on that? Like, it's
Yeah.
some of these things were made to address this problem specifically. And when
Yeah, on
people
the outside looking in, you're like,
outside looking
yeah,
in, like
this
on the
is a
outside
good
looking in, like,
reason
yeah,
to do
this is
this.
a good
Yeah.
reason to do this. There
Yeah,
are people
100%.
like a more common one, right? Free lunch for kids. So the free breakfast or free lunch,
I
whatever. It's
think
like,
it's just across the board now.
it's like, why the fuck are we talking about that? Like, why is that an issue? Why should we go to, like, why is that not included in the fucking school?
But when I was growing up, there was people who were on they had to pay for their lunch, there was
Yeah.
reduced lunch. I think I was the one that had to pay like 40 cents or something.
Yeah. Like,
But
yeah.
dude, listen, there was a time I remember my parents got called because I guess they didn't put the money on the thing. They wouldn't give me lunch because I didn't have 40 cents in my account.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Which is crazy,
Which is
and again,
crazy, bro.
this is why as an adult, I'm like, "Bro, feed the what the heck
Feed the
what's
kid. What are we
happening?
talking about? Like,
Feed the kids,
what
bro."
are we talking about, bro? It's like, what are we talking
Yes.
about? Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
But I do
shit.
remember I
Yeah.
was in that transition phase where that was a
Yeah. You're
thing.
like, why the fuck we talking about feeding kids at school?
Yeah,
What?
this is crazy.
we're talking about that's a government program we're talking about. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
My
Yeah,
thing
so
is take away all this SNAP and EBT and all this other shit, and feed them kids. Because I don't know, school lunches is just saying what they. I remember school lunches being banging, but maybe I was just because I was a kid. They are not like that
I had to
now,
fuck
bro.
up that pizza, bro. Shit.
Bro, the pizza, I don't know. We had all kinds of things. There was one school in Tennessee, bro. They had these chicken fingers with the sauce, bro, and they had a nacho bar with Doritos as chips, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah, fire. Anyway, but what I'm saying is scrap that, pump more of that into the school food wise, like give them real. Bro, I don't give a shit if my kid says, Dad, we had steak today.
Okay.
Great. Good. I'd rather that than this other bullshit that you're seeing.
Yeah, bro. That's
anyway. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. We're solving all the world's problems, but it's like one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's the reliance on the government. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah,
the government is not good at running anything. The only thing the government is good at is the military, bro. And that's not really the government. The military is good at the military.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be reliant on the government because I know how volatile the government is, right?
Yeah.
And so when there's people involved, I don't want to be dependent on someone. Again, not just the government per se, just in general. Like I want to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient in every area of my life. I don't want to be dependent upon anybody else. So I personally can't understand my mind wrapped around people who want to be in that space. I don't want to be in that space. I mean, obviously we all have jobs and do whatever, but it's like as far as like I want to be as self-sufficient as possible.
Yeah.
As possible across the board.
No, 100%.
Except I will definitely go buy Starbucks every day. So it's it is what it is.
Yeah,
okay, you fucking got me. All right, you got me.
Last one. Do you want to talk on? And hopefully we frame this right, and we'll see. But I've seen a lot of push lately. Again, we check in weekly, so this week there's just so much shit out there about the racial breakdown of people in corrections or crimes, and I listen to all this stuff and I just go, why does it fucking matter? My biggest thing is, did they commit the crime? Yes or no? What was the punishment? I don't care about anything else, dude, because actually what I really get pissed off about, regardless of race or sex, I don't care, is when you see a horrific crime or you see somebody get arrested for 50 fucking felonies and they keep getting lit out. I don't care what their makeup is. I don't give a shit. What are we doing? Why is it so important? Why is there so much fucking emphasis on it? I don't get it. 2025.
To me personally, I don't care, right? But again, I think there's
I know, but we're fleshing it out.
Yeah. I think there's, and we're investigators, right? So we ask questions, right? So the question behind the other question is like, what agenda are we, like, what's the agenda on this? Like, why are we talking about
this? That's what I don't understand.
Specifically, right? So it's like, and you see it with like, it's funny, we're talking about, I was talking about this maybe a couple weeks ago. It's like, when you look at headlines, you're like, what, it's like, if you pay attention to the headline, right? Sometimes they'll be in like clickbait shit or whatever, right? It's like, it's designed to make you feel something before you even read the story, right? So for example, and I think, because somebody who, you and I have written reports, right? It's like, we only put in the information that's necessary to the story, right? So if we're talking about, and again, not even necessarily race, right? We're talking about shit where it's like necessary information, right? So if you see a group of two guys walking down the street, and I saw one guy, two guys walked up to a young lady, one of them punched her in the face. Okay, so now the pertinent information would be, how are we going to distinguish between which one? Right? We've already distinguished two guys and a female based off race, or not race, but off sex. So we didn't even say two subjects and one victim. We could say that, right? Still gets our point across. No. But now we got to distinguish between these other two people. Like, which one of these two guys punched the girl? Well, it was the one in the red shirt. The one in the red shirt is the one that did, right? So you could do it that way, right? So for the people who are listening, it's like, so now if I said this is the shit that always gets me. Two young white juvenile males, 18 and 19, or I'm sorry, two teenage males, 18 and 19, versus two young black male adults, 18 and 19. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? They're the same age. Why is one an adult and now why these are teenagers? So like the language gives you a different feeling, like, oh, teenagers are kids. It's adults that should have known better, even though they're the same age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then when it comes to like the racial stuff, I think it's like, to me, I'm always looking at who's doing the storytelling, who's doing the reporting, and what agenda do you have by giving me the information the way you're giving it to me? I look at that across the board on anything, right? Even if it's
Yeah.
somebody just telling me like a random story, I'm like, hmm. I get you're telling me the story. I'm sure I'm gonna assume you're giving me all the information. But why are you giving me the information like this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What emotions are you like? What emotions are you trying to elicit from me by telling me the story this way? You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, I'm laughing. Well, because when you catch someone doing something wrong, you get a myriad of reactions.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one to call them on is when they start crying and they get this whole sob thing, and I just stare at them. I'm like, "Your tears mean nothing to me. I don't give a shit." And then you see them morph into the person that committed the crime. You're like,
No,
"There
they're
you
great.
are.
There it is. There you
There
go.
you are."
There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
To answer the question in total, I don't think it matters, but I think it depends on like how are we trying to, what emotions are people trying to elicit from one another, right? For like they're like, oh well, this percentage of this community does this, and this percentage of this community does this, and I was like, okay, well, even if you wanted to do that, I was like, give more context to what you're talking about, because now there's another question on top of that, and another question on top of that that I'm going to ask
I
you on
guess
top of
that's
that.
my point. We never go beyond that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's either let's play both sides. It's either, "Oh my god, this community is so violent and awful and terrible," or this community, they try to make it look like it's like, "Hey, 1, is it true? 2, how do we fix that? What is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
This is an anomaly. Let's fix it.
Yeah.
Why is this occurring?" Nobody does that.
Hmm.
It's either, "Oh, they're just pieces of shit. They should be in jail." That's not true. I mean, it's not true in the sense that if they committed the crime, they absolutely should be, but why is there such an
Yeah.
abnormal percentage doing whatever the crime is?
Yeah. Why is this happening?
Let's figure that out because let's stop that. But again, I guess my point is, are you not trying to keep the community safe? Are you? Because I give a shit about the victims.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about any of the other stuff. Let's fix the problem.
Yeah.
And so to your point, what is the point? What is the point of letting somebody out 50 fucking times? 50 times. At this point, I don't even care if he just keeps stealing gum. Let's make it real small. What's going on and why clearly
Yeah.
what we're doing is not working.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing about this? I was like, clearly,
My
clearly
favorite are
not
when
getting
I
the
run a
point.
criminal history on somebody and it's like they've been arrested for stealing vehicles 30 times. Clearly, motherfucker ain't learning. Or I'll give you a new one. Well, fresh for me. I got to think through this. No relevance to any case, but a certain individual has been arrested so many times that he was on probation, currently on probation,
Mm-hmm.
committed another crime, arrested, released, still on probation, gets arrested again. These are all felonies. Again, still on probation for the original crime, the second crime, and now the third crime released again. What are we doing?
I don't know, man.
So what is the justice? I don't understand. Why do we keep doing this? What is the point of what we're doing?
I'm sure there's context to that too. Like there's a breakdown somewhere. And like where is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's a breakdown somewhere. How come we haven't identified it yet?
Well, I know what it is. They just don't want to fucking put people in jail because they don't want to add to the numbers of whatever percentage and
Other than
the
that,
research paper they're trying to avoid that shit.
yeah, is it money? Is it, does it cost too much? Whatever. But I'm like, is that really an excuse?
Again, criminals just keep committing crimes even when
Mhm.
they're on probation. Dude, people that are on ankle monitors
Mhm.
still committing crimes, getting
Recidivism rates,
arrested for those crimes and released, dude.
yeah,
I don't get it.
recidivism rates are high. But and again, so I guess there's another.
When does the shoe drop, bro? When does it drop?
I don't know.
That's all I got for today, bro.
I got nothing else.
I think it's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
We started off light and then we're like, I
Yeah, I
don't know,
know.
bro. Fuck it. Fuck it. All right, brother. Don't go anywhere.
That it.